and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our manga for today is Alice in Borderland, Volume 3 by Haru Asu, and published by Viz. Now, there is violence, murder, blood, shooting, sword slicing, psychological horror, the death traps, in a way, and more violence in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, I'll put the translator and everything here. Okay, so finally, after quite a few months, I've finally gotten to read Volume 3 of Alice in Borderland. Alright, I can't tell you how happy I was. Now, I've finished reading the second volume last year, after finally getting it. And now, this one, I couldn't find number 3 in Israel, unfortunately, so I ended up ordering it from Amazon. And then the war broke out, and I thought, well, that's it. I guess I won't be getting my volume, but it ended up arriving over a week ago. I was just over the moon. I was like, finally, I can continue, because I love this story. But yeah, here I am after finally finishing reading it. I took a bit of time because I wanted to enjoy it as well. Now I'm missing 4. Okay, but yeah, anyway, finally got a second-hand one. So I'll show you later. Just get some writing here. Alright, but anyway, after all of that, so when we left off Aristo in Volume 2, he was captured by the militants on the beach after being betrayed by this guy here. Don't ask me to remember his name even. Yeah, he tricked him so Aristo would help him find the location of all the cards. Which you need all the cards in order to, supposedly it says, in order to escape Borderland. You need a full pack of the cards you get from the games. Now, the militants left Aristo tied up in the room, and they stuffed his ears and also duct taped his eyes so he wouldn't be able to, on his mouth, so he wouldn't be able to hear or see, and, basically him panicking because he only had 1 day left on his visa. And if he wouldn't have played, then he would have basically died there. The laser would have killed him. So yeah, they're sick bastards, basically. And also we stopped on them, the one with the tongue that I hate. I hate this, about to rape Usagi, basically. So yeah, everything seemed very gloom and doom. But then we start this one with so yeah, again, Usagi's about to be raped, Aristo's tied somewhere, and then this bastard right here is a medical student. Hopefully never becomes a doctor or whatever he's studying for. I wouldn't want him as my doctor, I can tell you that. He's going outside of the beach. He went and he got in the cards. Now the reason he tricked Aristo because the cards weren't actually in the safe that he told Aristo they were. They were in another one, and so this bastard told the big meathead boss of the militants that so he would see where he's looking in order to find the actual safe, which was behind a picture. Say he's got the cards out. He's like, finally, I can leave. He throws away his room key thing. And he's about to go out, and then the lady in the bikini, the tan one, she's got this kind of like Medusa dread hairs or something. But she confronts him, and he's like, well, this is what you gotta do to survive, he basically tells her. Because I thought, I thought that maybe she didn't know he was going to betray Ariso, and no, she didn't. So he's about to leave. He's like, if you're smart, you'll come with me. And I was thinking, yeah, so what? You can sacrifice her along the way later on. You know he would. But yeah, he's about to go out of the gate to the beach when suddenly they hear an explosion outside. Like some of the guys in the beach went out to get some more gas for the cars, and there are explosions. They're like, "What's going on?" And one of the people by the pool, he's about to run to check, and someone else yells at him, "Wait, stop!" And he still has his room key thing, this guy, and he takes it and he throws it at the gate that's open though. And it evaporates because there's lasers now there. And he's like so close. I was one step away from freedom because he would have had an almost full deck. So yeah, now they're stuck and the whole beach has turned into an arena, baby. They're all fucked, basically. So they all go back in. The guy with the creepy tongue has to let go of Usagi, and she tells him, you're a pathetic creature. Because he get off on, all this violence. And they all go down to the hotel lobby, because they hear, I think, something. They hear the rules of the game. They're broadcasted on the TV, and they tell them that you have to go to the lobby to start the game. And now this game is 10 of hearts. So the way it works, you got, one of the card symbols, and you got the difficulty based on the number. So this is 10 difficulty. It's bad. It's really fucking bad. And heart is psychological, intellectual psychological, I think it was. So they all go down to the hotel, and there is one of the young girls, it's on the beach, is laying there dead. Someone stuck a knife through her heart. And her friend is crying nearby. Now, these are two girls that Ariso comes across in Volume 2. They're talking or something. I think they were planning to do something. I don't remember exactly what it was anymore, but I don't think they specified, but they were talking amongst themselves, and Ariso comes across them. So yeah, now, so the game is they have to find a witch. A witch killed this poor girl, and outside there's a big bonfire, so what they have to do, they have to discover who the witch is. They have 2 hours to do that, and then they have to burn the witch at the altar. Now, the witch could be male or female, so you can't just say, gather up all the women there. No, you don't know who it is. So that's it. So then the guy with the creepy tongue, who likes mayhem and chaos, starts riling people up. That's the dead girl's friend. She killed her because she was with her. And everyone's like riled up and yeah, let's burn her. But then I don't remember which one comes in. I think he comes in and like, no, calm down. We can't, just, go like that. You don't know, because, Usagi tries to defend her, and then the guy with the tongue like, oh, she's also a witch. But then, then their big boss of the militants comes and he tells the guy with the tongue, I don't like your methods. So then he says, well, then I assume everyone here is a witch, the big boss says. And, so you all run, because he has this group of militants, and this is our group, we're gonna hunt you down. So everyone starts freaking out, leaving. Now you got, Anne. she's number, I think, was it 10 or 11 in the hierarchy there. Now, she was a forensic scientist back in the real world. And so she actually might be able to do something here. But again, the militants go about it their way. Everyone runs away scared. And now one of the men that was in the Hatter groups joins the militants. Basically, they're going to hunt people down and start killing them until they find the witch. Now, as I read this plan, because this one suggested the final boss, the fucked up weird guy who we learn more about in this volume, actually. Yeah, he's off his rocker, that one. Yeah, let's start killing them and burn him. Which, again, for starters, they don't know who the witch is. It could be one of them. But the plan is stupid because you got 66 people in total in 2 hours. There's no way you're gonna be able to, because it's a fucking big hotel, mind you. There's no way you're gonna be able to hunt them all down, especially when you told them what you're gonna fucking do, and kill them and then drag them to the fire outside. How are you gonna do that? Now, if there was 20 of them, including the militants, that could have been possible. Still a fucking stupid plan, but it would have been more possible. Because again, 2 hours. It's not like they have the whole day to figure out who the witch is. They have 2 hours. So yeah, when I read it, I was like, this is stupid. You're never going to succeed that way. Because mind you, they all die if they fail. All of them. If they don't figure out who the witch is in 2 fucking hours, they're fucked. So yeah, the militants start doing this crazy shit, going around. The guy with the creepy tongue goes up on the, second floor to a balcony and starts, he tells the other militants, scare the people out, I'll shoot them from here. And so they go on their murderous rampage. One of the militants is not liking it, though. He feels this is fucked up, shit. Now, again, hard games are the psychological, intellectual. They're meant... This is the same kind of game that because of it, Aristo lost his friends. To this kind of game, exactly. It's like the worst game you can get stuck in. So yeah, they're running around, hiding from the militants. Meanwhile, Usagi, she's together with this girl. Oh yeah, and another thing, no one knew that the Hatter was murdered. And 2 of the guys that went on the gas run found out that that Hatter was murdered. One of them blurts it out. And while they're all, hyped up from the creepy guy with the tongue, and one of them spills the beans, and Anne's like, fuck. And that's when the final boss kills him, just like that. So, yeah, they didn't know, so now that calms people down, though. They all cool down after those news. Because they all thought that Hatter just died in one of the games. They didn't know he was murdered. So yeah, so the militants are running around murdering people. Anne is trying to, because she's a forensic scientist, she wants to go and get the fingerprints off the knife to find out who the murderer is. Now, how the fuck she gonna compare those to anyone there is beyond me. I mean, you need a database for that shit, but I guess she knows what she's doing, right? Now, the tanned lady that was kind of with them, she goes with them to help. Usagi, one of the guys that went on the gas run, Tata, his name is, I think it was. And the murdered girl's friend, they go together and they capture one of the militants And Usagi's like, where's Aristo? And all he can tell them is he's on either floor 4 or 3. And then they continue to look for him, and meanwhile Aristo is in the room and still doesn't know what's happening. And I think he's, I don't know, either maybe, I don't know, starting to die or something. Because he sees, or thinks he sees, like in his mind, his friends. Shibuki, Chota, and Karibu. They're all eating dinner at a table and talking about movies, and then he's like, I'm sorry, I haven't been myself since I lost you all. And they're like above him, all big figures bleeding down on him, all Junji Ito style. So yeah, he's witnessing this. Now, in the middle of this story here, there's a side story about a young boy, not much older than, like a few years younger than Aristo, called Dodo. That's a third. And he also ends up in Borderland. And this story takes place before Aristo and Usagi arrive at the beach. So, at first you see like, okay, he's kind of a regular teenager. He's not sure what he wants to do in life. He's 15. And he lives with his grandmother. His mother is sick at the hospital. She has a mental condition. It's not specified. Something mental, so he lives with his grandmother. He's in love with a girl in his class, and his best friend says, I'll help set you up with her, but then that girl and his best friend end up dating, and, he thinks he was betrayed by his friend, because they meet in the hallway, and his friend looks at him like, And then, that day he goes and he loses his train ticket, and then he, I guess, spends the night outside. And then he too sees the fireworks, and he's in Borderland. And the first few days, that first day, he breaks a vending machine, and then he sees some light, because it's nighttime, and he goes there, and he winds up in a game. There's, 2 guys there, one with the hood, one with glasses, and 2 women. And the guy with the glasses is like, a noob, just what we needed. And then, again, he could have, you think by now they would realize it's best to just tell the noobs what's going on to make it easier on everyone. But yeah, no such luck. Yeah, now the capacity of the game is 5 people, so Dodo cannot go anywhere. So they all go up to the top floor of this company building, and they have to get on these, elevators the window cleaners use. So all 5 of them get on them, and they're lowered to the 10th floor, the middle. And what they have to do is they have a controller with 2 buttons, minority, majority, and questions appear on the screen, and they have to answer what's the correct answer. Is it minority or majority? And at first, the 2 first questions, of course, go easy. Okay, so the thing with this game is, you have to, if the majority is wrong, or like if you're wrong and the majority of players answer wrong, they go down 1 floor and they get an electrical shock. If they are right, they go up a floor. Now this too is a game of hearts, but it's a level 4. But if you're wrong and you're in the minority, as in, everyone got the right answer but you didn't, you fall to your death. The elevator just releases you and you fall down. Now, because there's also electronics, it explodes as you fall down as well. So yeah, quite the death. So that's what happens. And apparently you can also trick other players. If you trick them into answering wrong and to be in the in the minority, you get extra points and you get bumped up extra levels. So the one of the chicks, she's got long blonde hair. In the third or fourth question, everyone answers majority. Or no, everyone answers minority. She answers majority. She gets it wrong, and she falls to her death. And that's how they learn that. And then there's a question about a French word, and the other chick there, she says, I think this means, you answer either it means soul or heart. But then she tells, oh, it's definitely heart, and Dodo and the guy in the hood and they actually press soul, and the guy, or what was it? No, they press heart, and the other guy presses soul, and she tells him, oh, I'm sorry, I got that wrong, but it was too late to tell you. You already pressed. Even though she could have told him still, like, yelled, hey, don't press. But yeah, she goes up 2 floors, and he falls to his death. And Dodo is obviously shocked and traumatized by all this, because he's new. He doesn't even know what Borderland is yet. And then he looks and he starts to think that she purposefully do that to get rid of him. It's unclear. The chick does look a little screw loose in some of the panels, but it's possible again. I don't think she would have known that she would have gotten extra points if she fooled anyone. The game doesn't tell you that, I think. So it's like, ah, shit. So it makes him, it makes Dodo really upset, because he, again, with his life, because his father was cheating on his mother, and then she got an addiction problem, and then her mental problem. And so he grew up with his grandmother, and his dad left him to be with his new woman. And he's just sick and tired of everyone betraying him and fooling him. So he decides that he's going to do the same. So there's another question here that he actually knows the answer to, the next question, because he read about it in the book, because it has to do with his mom's illness. But he tells them the wrong answer. And so Aristo, the guy in the hood and the chick, they press the wrong one, and they get electrocuted and down 1 floor, and he goes up 6 floors. And it's like, and of course they get shocked, so it hurts, and the chick's like, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, lady, what do you want? I mean, if you purposefully didn't just warn the guy. Okay, yeah, she didn't know it would bump her up, but she knew he could die. So in that sense, yeah, what the fuck's wrong with you? But yeah, so that's what happens. There's another question. He goes, I think, up another floor. And then he's like, he can't take it. He doesn't like the feeling of, betraying people. He doesn't want this. And then the next question, he knows the answer to as well. It's something you've heard in his high school. And so he tells them the answer, and like, this time I promise, trust me. And the chick's like, I think I'm stable herself. She's like, I won't trust you even if it costs me my life. Stupid. So he and the guy in the hood answer correctly, and she falls to her death. And then he looks up, and it's like 1 more level. He's on the 19th floor. 1 more, and he is saved. And then the guy in the hood, like the next question, he tells him, I know the answer, because when we were down in the lobby, I looked in the pamphlets of the company. Just trust it. He doesn't tell him trust me, he just tells him that's the answer. What the company motto is. And at first, Dodo's like, no, he's lying to me. He's going to say something greasy like, trust me, and I know, but the guy with the hood doesn't say anything. He just tells him that. And at first, he's like, I'm not going to trust you. But he ends up, he's crying, and he ends up pressing what the guy tells him. And that's it. He's free. And he gets out of the elevator for window cleaners, and like, I can't take this anymore, I gotta leave, and he runs away. And the guy with the hood is down there. He's stuck, obviously. He didn't win the game. He's got to, what's he gonna do? He's got to answer more questions about the company. And he's like, I wish I read that. I don't remember the answer. But then above him, he hears a yell. It's Dodo. He's back. He grabbed the company pamphlet, and he tells him, quick, tell me if the questions are about the company, I'll help you. I'll tell you the answers. And so that's what they do until the guy in the hood gets up. It gets up to the 20th floor, and then Dodo jumps on him and like, yay. Then later he explains to him what the hell is going on here, what is Borderland. Dodo gets his visa, his card, and then they leave the building. And of course, Dodo feels guilty, and the guy in the hood tells him, look, if you saved me, that counts for something, and if you still feel guilty, you gotta live. You gotta go on and continue to live, because Dodo tells him, I want to go back and make up with my friend. Because that day when they met in the hallway, his friend actually whispered to him that he's sorry. He didn't betray him. He did go talk to the girl for him, but she ended up telling him that she actually likes him. So he didn't go with the intention of stealing her. He actually went in order to help his friend, because he was too shy to talk to her. And then Dodo's like, hey, what's your name? This is my name. And we learn that it's Arisso. Because he takes off and he says Arisso. It was Ryu Arisso, I think. Because Dodo's like, can't I come with you, maybe? But no, he doesn't. I hope Dodo is still alive, of course. Because this is a few days before Arisso and Sagi find the beach. So that's it. That's the side story. And I guess it was, I don't know, maybe to introduce Dodo or to show where Arisso was before. Looks like Arisso almost didn't make it to the beach with the Sagi. I guess he went around to also try to, extend his visa maybe a little bit more. Anyway, now we go back to the main story. Now, Arisso in his dreamlike state, his friends tells him, Karibu tells him, because suddenly his friends get up and leave, and they're, you know what, Arisso, you don't want to be alone, you don't want to be lonely. What are you, a toddler? Because he wants to go with them, he wants to die and join them, but then Karibu tells him, no, as long as you remember us, we'll never be gone. We won't be forgotten. So keep living for all of us. And that's it. And then Arisso's heart pumps back up. Meanwhile, Usagi and the other two are looking for him. And then he swings with the chair and falls, and with the help of the floor and grinding, he takes off the duct tape from his mouth and he yells, I'm here, I'm alive, come get me. So the guy that's a medical student, meanwhile, once the beach became an arena, the power for the beach started to come from another source. So he thought maybe turning off the engines will offset something, but it doesn't do anything. And then he realizes he needs a weapon, so he goes and makes a weapon. Because the militants have all the guns. And meanwhile, the militants have massacred many of the beach residents, but they still have not found the witch, and the clock is ticking. The big boss kills one of the militants and says, "I don't want to lose my humanity over this," meaning the game. So that's what happens. Okay, so we learn about the past of the boss, this guy, final boss, and the guy with the creepy tongue. So the guy with the creepy tongue used to be kind of a nerd, and for some reason he was really hated. It doesn't show us what kind of personality he may have had, but it looks like he was hated and beaten up and shit. So then I guess he decided to become like this, so no one will ever do that to him again. The big boss, he is a child of a very violent and drunk man. And his father would drink and beat him and yell at him. And he would sometimes provoke him to save his mother, but his mother ends up leaving. And then he leaves. When he's 12, he leaves home. But then he comes back when he's 17. When he's 17, he comes back. Right, sorry about that. Then he, so he comes back home when he's 17. He's no longer a child. He's now a man. It does look pretty beefed up and shit. And he finds out that his father, 6 months after he left, died of alcohol poisoning or something. But yeah, so then he would basically wandered around aimlessly, not knowing where to channel his anger. And then he just ended up in Borderland, I suppose. Now, final boss, the creepy dude down here, he's an interesting case. It looks like he was a hermit living with his mom. And all he did was play video games. And his mom, tried to persuade him to, come out and talk to her. It's not clear how he got to that state. But he seemed to have been violent and continued playing games and then ended up in Borderland as well. And I don't know, he's writing how his life was empty and all of that. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you just sit and play video games. Exclusively. Like, you don't do nothing else. And he's just in a sorry state. But then, I guess he loses his shit when he gets to Borderland. And then he decides, that's it here. I'm going to live how I want. And he gets to the beach after a few days of being there. And then shaves off his hair and his beard and his eyebrows for some reason. And then he finds a tattoo artist on the beach and asks him to do all these crazy tattoos on his face because he's not coming back to the real world, he tells him. He's going to live there. So that's the story with these chuckleheads, basically. Right, sorry about that again. Yeah, so that's the story with these three, it seems. That's why they are the way they are. In between this, we have a fight between final boss, this guy here. Let me show you his wacky tattoos. Look at that. So yeah, and together with the tan lady, we're gonna call her Lady K because that's what her name starts with, or surname. They get to, with another guy, they get down to the lobby. She takes out the knife from the girl's chest and she's going to examine it. But then the third guy with them, he gets killed by final boss. And then they're like, oh shit. But then Lady K tells her, why do you think I've been following you? She means that stink on shit. You go. You have the biggest chance of finding out who the witch is. You go find out, and I will protect you. So she faces off with final boss. And then we learn about her past, because she tells final boss, I see you and I are not that different after all. Now, Aristo also gets released, and then he realizes why they're all in Borderland. So it looks like the common denominator between all the people that have been taken to Borderland is that they all want to be loved. In their lives, they don't have really much love. They've been disappointments to their parents, they've been lonely and just not really accepted. And that's what seems to be the reason they're all in Borderland. They all have some kind of issue inside of them. So that seems to be what's taken them to Borderland. Now, who's doing this is another question, but that seems to be the common denominator. Interesting. Right, so Arisa, meanwhile, is trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Trying to think of things from the point of view of the witch. Because like Usagi said, we need to find Arisa, he'll know what to do here. Now, Lady K and Final Boss, they face off. And then first, Lady K dodges his sword hit. And then he's like, well, what, was that just a lucky shot? And then she goes into a karate pose, and he's like, your eyes, are you a dude? And yep, she is. She's a trans lady, as it turns out. So Lady K, she was, because at first I didn't get it. You see her in a judo, her father's training him at the time. And he's just not, as he says, he's not the kind of son his father wanted him to be. Because you see him experimenting with lipsticks, and his parents would fight, his mom would tell him, why do you have to be so hard on him? Can't you be more understanding? So it turns out that his mother told him, if you want to inherit the dojo from your father, or maybe you want to live your own way. Either way, I will support you. So Lady K, still a teenager, leaves home and does the surgeries and other stuff to look like a lady. And for some reason she tans. And she's not tanned before. And, well, that's it. She leaves home, but then a few years later, she goes to her mother. Her mother's in the hospital. It turns out that she and her father divorced, and now her mother needs care. So she's like, do you have home care? I'll come live with you and take care of you. Because that's what Lady K says, why she has to come back. She has to come back and take care of her mother. Oh, that's Watson. So that's her story. So then, her father told her when she was a teenager, if you're gonna strike, you have to strike to kill, and she does end up killing Final Boss. Because she's, like, she sees in his eyes that he knows how to use the sword, and then she uses a plastic bottle because the sword is dull already, to kind of, stop his strike, and then she hits him, and then she gives him the final blow. Oh boy. Yeah, so that bastard's dead. Meanwhile, medical student kills, or at least it looks like he kills the guy with the creepy tongue. Because he approaches him on the roof, and because the creepy tongue guy has a blowtorch. And sorry, he has a sniper rifle. So he's like, I'll shoot you, and then medical student gets closer to him, and then to distract him, he throws up the cards, and the guy's like, you raided our stash, when did you have time for that? How? But then as he's distracted for that moment, medical student guy pulls out a homemade blowtorch and shoots him with it. And he's on fire, and he jumps down to the pool. Now, I have no idea if that bastard's still alive. We don't see anything. So I don't fucking know. He could be dead by then. Or anyway, severely damaged. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't want him to be my doctor. So yeah, that happens. And now Anne figures out who the killer is. Some fucking way, she knows the fingerprints that are on the knife. How, I don't fucking know. And Arissa also has a breakthrough that he doesn't need to look at this from the perspective of the witch. He needs to look at this from the perspective of the guy controlling the game. Why would he do what he does? Because the whole point of the hard game is to cause psychological damage to the players, make them do these fucked up things. Now, is she about to run out and tell people who the witch is? She gets killed by the militants. At least I'm pretty sure, because they whack her. I wonder why she ended up in Borderland. So they whack her and no, we won't let you tell because then we'll be killers. If you find out who the witch... I mean, you're killers anyway. I mean, I guess they're thinking, well, at least we'll die and no one will know or something like that. Because if they don't figure out who the witch is and they have 14 minutes left, they're fucked. So that's what happens. Then Arisso with the Usagi and the other two, he goes down. He goes down to through the emergency stairways, and he asks, and then the dude, wait, what was his name? Let me see. Aguni, that's his name. Yeah, he suddenly, the Tata guy runs in front of them, and then he gets whacked, and it's the Aguni, and he's dragging Lady K by her hair. I think she might be dead. So then he asks him, are you the witch? And then he hits Arisso, and then he's about to maybe hit him again, but Usagi stops him. And the girl's like, Arisso, you all right? Also, this girl that was the murdered girl's friend, she seems to wanted to tell Arisso something, but stopped herself. I wonder what that was. And it's like, he must be the witch. And then he picks up Arisso. And then Arisso looks at him in those eyes. And I finally understand. You aren't the witch. It was the Hatter you killed. Hatter, right? Because I can see it in your eyes. They're saying yes. And yes, indeed, this bastard killed the Hatter. And that's it. That's where the story ends. Holy shit. Okay, so first, you got the usual style of cover for this edition, because this is an omnibus edition. You see, you got, there's the medical student, and then there's final boss over there. I do like the colors they use. Alright, so let me show you some art. So there you see there, the laser, you see he was one step away, and he would have been free. So yeah, you got that there. And then you see this is that creepy guy. He's riling them up to have them kill both girls. But, and that's where Usagi uses her climbing abilities in order to knock this guy down. And then they take away his gun. In order to, okay, and there we go. There's that fire where they're supposed to throw the witch to cleanse her sins, or his sins. Okay, so that's the art. Okay, story. Woo-hoo. A lot has happened in this one, of course. Sorry, car horns. So yeah, as always, a lot has happened. Holy shit. We had, I'm glad Arisso was saved. I do hope he sticks with us. Although with this one, I don't know. I thought the other three would. I imagine Narissa will keep going. So yeah, shit. Who thought that the beach would become an arena? I guess it was a possibility because all places become arenas at one point. Which I guess why staying in the same place is probably not a good idea in Borderland. Or at least staying inside buildings and such, because there's a chance that the building will become an arena, and then you have to play whatever game that is. I mean, anyway, you can't really choose the arenas or anything. Like you go in and you hope that it's not a too difficult game to play, and it's nothing too high and deadly, but that's basically all you can do. So yeah, the beach became an arena, they had to start a game, and it's a very bloody, deadly game, because, well, as we see, there's a level 10 fucking hell. Which is good for them because they were just missing 10 and then the cards with the aces. And that's it. But the question is, will they survive the game? Because so many already have been murdered. And will Agani, will he kill Arisso and the others? And who is the witch? What did Anne find out? Did she find out, how did she know the handprints of the killer, and who is the killer of the girl? And do they have to put said killer in the fire? As I remind you, they have like 12 minutes maybe to find out who it is. And after they do, what will the militants do? Because there's still some survivors left. In the end, there's like 30... participants out of the 66 that were originally. I imagine none of those people are really going to follow the, Agani and his, whatever left of his men, because Creepy Tongue Guy might be dead, it's unclear. Final Boss is definitely fucking dead, and as Lady K mocked him, you have mommy issues. Like I said, I think he was kind of a hermit before. Just sitting cooped up all day, life uneasy, in a way. Because he even, writes in the forum, and people in the forum mock him, too. Because it's like, dude, just get out and do stuff. That's left to be seen, holy shit. I can't wait, well, I'm gonna have to wait, because I can't find volume 4 here. But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with this. Who is the witch? Is Anne maybe still alive? Hopefully. Is Lady K still alive? Because I don't know. Maybe he did just kill her, or maybe just knocked her out. It's unclear. I hope she's alive. It's sad that she might not get back to her mom. It's interesting, in the real world, if these disappearances are noticed. Do these people that all disappeared suddenly, did anyone notice that they disappeared? Do they, disappear and then does life continue on as it did? Or if one of them gets to go back, he goes back to the moment that he was gone from? It's interesting. Kind of reminds me of one of the Digimon series where, I don't remember which one it was, but they were all in an elevator when they arrived in the Digimon world, and after all the time when they finally came back, they were back in that same moment, in that same spot. So I wonder if here it's the same. Oh, so many questions. And there's still many volumes to go. Yeah, I'm just ecstatic. I love this story. I can't wait to see what happens. Can't wait to find out who the witch is and what's gonna happen. Will Usagi and Arisso make it, or somewhere along the way he'll lose Usagi? There's no guarantees in Borderland that you will remain alive. Especially with how the games are, obviously. You either participate, because either way you have no choice but to participate, because if you don't, you die once your visa expires. But who is doing all of this? Who created Borderland, and how whoever he or they are, how are people brought into it? And again, the common denominator. They're all people that crave love, that have loneliness in their lives, one way or another. So, does that mean that Larissa, is that the particular reason they were taken? And who took them, and for what purpose exactly? Is it aliens? Can you imagine it's aliens? That would be freaky. Alright, but that is it basically, folks, for Volume 3. I definitely look forward to when I finally get 4, but that'll unfortunately be a little while, because it'll be a while. But after that, I have 5 and 6, so I'll be able to continue. But yeah, that's it. So let me know what you thought of Alice in Borderland Volume 3. And that is it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!